What year were you born?
1941.
What are your parents' names?
Albin, Albin, and Moselle. She was a Messimer, Messimer, Mills.
What was your father's occupation?
He was a farmer.
That's what we're discovering in most of these.
Most everybody was,
Right.
yeah.
And what schools did you attend in Wood County?
Well, I started at Stout, and then when it consolidated, I went to Winsboro ISD.
What was the highest grade at Stout? Do you remember?
I finished the 5th.
Did it consolidate after that? Do you know how the school got its name of Stout?
Well, it was named after the community, but the Stout community was named for Captain Henry Stout, who was instrumental and a pioneer in Wood County history. He was the first sheriff in Wood County in 1850, and he had lots to do with the establishing the county.
I think maybe they have a picture of him in the courthouse.
I think so.
Well, I got interesting.
She's got some too.
How old were you when you started school?
6.
And how did you get to school each day?
Well, we usually walked. And then later, I got a bicycle and I rode my bicycle.
Do you remember how far you had to walk?
Oh, it was probably about a mile or a little less maybe.
Did you walk down a road, or was it a path through the pasture?
No, it was down FM 312.
Did your siblings go with you?
Well, my one sister, Marilyn, who's 2 years younger.
Did friends?
Well, we usually walked along with Robert Minshew and Bobby and John Pascal. They lived kind of across the road, down the road.
Was your school located on 312?
Yes, at the corner of 312 and what was known as Reed Lane, which now I think is a county road, 4640 maybe.
Were the roads paved at that time?
Yes, I had to look at, I remember it being paved because I turned over on my bicycle on that gravel, pavement was, so yes, I remember that. But I looked it up and 312 was paved in 1945. And I think the Reed Lane was asphalt, but I can't really remember.
What did you do if it were raining or snowing?
Well, Daddy always took us in our 1939 black Ford pickup. If it snowed, I don't think we went.
Did any students ride a horse to school? Did the school have a lunchroom?
No.
Did it have an auditorium?
It did. It had a big, nice one, as I remember it. It was on the back side of the school, and it had the, I think I remember correctly that it had the slanted floor and the theater seat, wooden seats, and it had a curtain across the stage.
We're finding a lot of the schools did because they were
Okay,
really,
so I am really remembering right.
well, it's becoming very obvious that they were the heart of that little community. There were lots of functions there that they used. Was there ever a tornado or fire or anything?
I don't remember, no.
Do you remember about what time school started each day?
Well, I've had a hard time remembering that. I'm remembering, I think, that it started about 8 and we got out about 4, but that might be stretching a bit, I don't know.
Did you ever have to miss school to work at home?
No, my mother believed in education.
We're finding an older generation seems to have emphasized education
Very
sometimes
much,
more than
very
a
much.
younger. Do you remember any of your teachers?
I remember Miss Donna Jr. well. The others, I can't remember the name. There was Mr. Gibson. I don't remember him that much, and I don't even remember having him, but I remember him being a teacher there.
Did you ever pull any tricks on your teachers?
Oh, no. I was too timid to do any of that.
Do you remember any of the supplies that you had to take with you to school?
Well, I think I'm remembering a big cheap tablet maybe, and a big fat pencil that I remember Daddy sharpening it with his pocket knife.
Who were some of your friends?
Mary Brewer and Virgie Cater were my two best friends.
Do you remember any adventures with your friends or any things that y'all did?
Well, not much at school. I mean, we used to play together and we were in the same grade, but after school, I remember playing in the woods and riding horses.
How large was the school lot that it was on?
Well, I'm thinking about an acre. It could have been a little more. I should have looked that up.
Did it have a playground?
Well, all in front of the school, I guess, would be considered a playground. That's where we played, but we never went behind the school. I've never been back there to this day.
Was there a swing set or merry-go-round or anything?
No, I don't know. And I'm thinking there may have been some like rope swings. There were some trees along a creek, at the side of the lot. But I don't know if I'm just thinking that. But I think there may be some, board swings with the ropes attached to the trees.
Do you remember what y'all used to do during recess?
Well, I think I remember playing Red Rover, Red Rover. And I don't even to this day remember how you play it, but I think we played, hit the ball, pitch the ball, dodge ball maybe, or maybe that was later, I don't know.
Were there any special parties or programs at Christmas?
Yes, we always had a sort of community Christmas. And I'm trying to remember. I remember having to recite things, but I can't remember what they were. I think we sang Christmas songs. Santa Claus always came. And I believe we drew names in our class, but the gifts were kind of like little boxes of candy or, peppermints or something.
Were there programs for other holidays?
I can't remember any, no.
What about the end of the school year? Was there anything special about
I
that?
don't think so. I can't recall anything.
Was there an organization for parents like the PTA?
No,
Did your school have any sports teams?
no.
Some of the schools had basketball or softball, but and their basketball was outside. I mean, they had
Yeah.
dirt court. How was your school heated?
Wood stove. I can remember when Daddy was on the board, he and Arvin Newton, I can't remember others, but they cut the wood, for the school, and I'm not sure who got there early and started the fire every day.
How was the school cooled?
Well, open windows. And I don't remember it ever being that hot. Of course, that school had so many windows. So.
If you fell or got hurt at school, was there someone that treated your injury?
I guess the teacher, I don't remember ever.
What was discipline like?
was pretty strict. Didn't talk without permission, didn't chew gum.
What was your favorite subject?
I think spelling. That's one I remember most. And I liked it because of the competition. We always had a spelling bee, it seemed like on Friday.
So if there wasn't a lunchroom, did you bring your lunch to school?
Yes, a sack lunch.
And usually what did you bring? Do you remember what you might take?
Well, bologna sandwich, or my favorite was peanut butter banana sandwich. Of course, by noon, the banana had usually turned brown. It didn't look appetizing, but I loved it anyway. Still my favorite sandwich to this day.
Was there an end of the year, like an awards program or anything? Do you remember?
I don't remember that.
And what school did you attend after you left Stout?
Winsboro
Winsboro.
Memorial.
And how did you get to Winsboro School?
School bus. Mr. Andy Cox.
And what year did you graduate from Winsboro?
1959.
Is there anything you would like to add about Stout? Or what would you like for people to remember about Stout?
Well, I think we got a good education, gave us a good basic, for going to the town school, I guess. But Miss Junior, she's the one teacher I remember. She was a great teacher.
How many teachers did it have?
Well, at the time that we went, it was like dwindling, just a few students. So I can only remember those two teachers, but there could have been more.
Well, did y'all have indoor plumbing?
I've tried to recall, no, I don't think we did. But I've tried to recall the outbuildings and I can't.
Well, that's all very interesting, and we're certainly finding some common themes between the kids that started at these common schools and ended up going to the town schools. Well, we just want to thank you for your time today in remembering Stout, because we feel like we're saving these memories and these times and these people for Wood County.
Well,
And it's an honor to get to hear what you have to say.